Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dinner and a Game. As you noticed, I'm not here. I'm walking around the house. We will be live in just a moment, but thank you all for joining us. Excuse me the echo. My wife did unmute before I walked in the room. Dun, dun, dun. You're busy. So, thank you everyone for showing up tonight. Tonight is a very special occasion. We decided to try and throw together a little one-shot for the Christmas holidays. Hi, everybody. So, in order to do that one-shot, I wanted to choose something that was kind of holiday-themed. So, I have created a little adventure, and we are going to be playing a game called Changeling the Dreaming. This was a game that was originally published by White Wolf, and it was published back in 1995. And I do believe it got a 20th anniversary edition. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it did. Good. It got a 20th anniversary edition. I do not have that. I still have my original stuff. But so we are going to be playing a Changing the Dreaming one-shot, which we are going to be doing not today, but we're going to be doing that on the 30th, which is Wednesday. So what we're doing tonight, though, is a lot of people, because this book has basically been out of published print for so long, a lot of people either didn't know how to make characters or we needed to go over the mechanics and everything like that. So we decided to put together this little show tonight so you guys could watch with us as we go over the character creation process for this game. And we kind of show you guys how we walk through the process in general. So thank you all so much for being here. But as always, before we get to that, we have some announcements to make. The first announcement is thank you very much for Atham91 for the sub. We thank you so much for that, and we hope you guys enjoy the show. We are going to, but we also have some other things we need to announce because since you're a sub, you may want to know about this one. We have a contest going on. Cassie, do you want to tell people about the contest?
Yes, I will. So we are currently trying to get to 300 followers on Twitch, and once we do that, we will be giving away a beautiful set of 30 3D printed minis that Ray will be 3D printing himself. They're very high quality, beautiful minis, and once we get to 300, we'll just pull a name. We're sitting at 287 right now, so we are so close, guys, like so close. And I just realized I don't have my headphones on, so I don't know how well people can hear me.
Okay.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Well, we hear you much better now. There's not much echo.
I bet. That was my fault. I was not
That's
thinking.
Okay.
Sleep deprivation. So we're at 287 now. So if you don't already follow us, please just give us a follow. And if you do, share the stream out. Tell your friends if you think it's something they might like. Follows are completely free.
Mm-hmm. And follows automatically get you, yeah, just a little early. But yeah, the follows are free and they get you automatically entered into the contest. So all you have to do is give us a follow. But we do love subs and we thank you very much for that. We also have a situation where we're trying to participate in a charity organization that's been going on for, well, a number of years now. Normally I'd have Josh here to do it, but Josh is not in this game, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of it myself. And we are talking about Extra Life. Extra Life is an amazing charity that does some amazing work for children. And this charity has been around since the 2008, I think, and they have raised over $70 million for children's charities. They work with the Children's Miracle Network, and they support local hospitals in your area. So if you guys are for our specific charity drive, each one of us who are driving this drive, such as Meg, Disco, myself, and Jessica, we've all chosen hospitals local to us, and the proceeds from the donations will be distributed to those hospitals. Now, we set a goal for ourselves of $2,000, and we actually met the goal a while back thanks to you guys. You guys have been freaking amazing. But we are still collecting donations up to January 14th. And we just discovered something recently. Extra Life runs year round. So they take donations year round. The Extra Life charity was established normally as a like a charity drive, but now they're taking donations year round. So we may keep this going as a year round thing. We were discussing that the other day, but for now, it is ending on January 14th for our drive. We've already beaten our $2,000 goal. We're at 2,445, but we would love to end the drive strong. So if you guys could donate to that, it would be amazing. It is a charity that does work for children, both sick children and needy children, as well as doing funding children's research with children's diseases. So it is an incredible charity. 100% of the monies donated goes directly to the hospitals. It is an amazing charity that does amazing work, and we would be honored if you helped us support it. So if you can, please donate to Extra Life. As Dr. Runyon continuously says, be a hero, save a kid. So, we also are trying to be heroes to our local gaming community. The gaming community is going through an incredibly hard time right now, and that is because COVID-19 has made it to where game stores no longer have access to the thing that really drove them, and that is you guys. Now, we can still support our game stores, however. We know it is easier to order product from Amazon, and we know sometimes it's even cheaper. But if you guys we don't make purchases from our friendly local game stores, they won't be there when COVID ends. We have been contacting stores so we can make sure that the stores we recommend to you are doing the right things, such as doing master visits, doing social distancing in store, providing at least curbside pickup for those who don't want to come into the store itself. And all those things are requirements for us to promote the store. Right now, I've been calling stores for about 2-3 months, and I can tell you that a full 1/3 of the stores that I have reached out to are dead. We have spreadsheets for all the stores in Texas, and there's an incredibly dense population under the contact information that says dead. These stores are no longer with us. They have fallen because this is just an incredibly unprecedented event happening. So if you guys can do anything to support your local gaming community, that is the best thing you can do right now. Go to the local stores. If you hear about them from us, we've already vetted them. We already know they're doing the right thing, such as the gaming store tonight, which is the Gaming Goat in Austin, Texas. They're doing social distancing in the store. They do curbside pickup. In fact, I think I just checked their website before we came on. I think that they have gone on lockdown again, and I think they're only doing curbside pickup right now. So these stores are taking great risks to make sure they're keeping the community safe. We need to do everything we can to support them in that by making sure that we make our purchases from our local game stores. I mean, you need a new set of dice. You need that latest copy of the D&D source book. Go to the local game store first. Give them the first chance to get your business. That way we can make sure that they stick around and that we have them available to us as a resource when COVID is over. But thank you. Also, if you want to support anyone, you can support us. As Atham just showed us, you can subscribe to us here on Twitch. Atham actually used his Prime subscription. Everyone who has Amazon Prime has one free Twitch subscription to give out, and we will be honored if you give that to us. Now, the only problem with that is you do have to renew that every month manually because it is a Prime subscription. But at the same time, you don't have to pay anything extra for it. But if you want to subscribe to us any other way as well, we would greatly appreciate it. One of the other ways you can support us other than Twitch, if you don't have Amazon Prime, is you can go to Patreon and join our Patreon, which gives you tons of different rewards right now. We have rewards such as special titles on Discord. We're going to be setting up a Patreon game as soon as we get enough Patreon followers on there. We're going to do monthly Patreon games where one of our cast is going to be running a game for our Patreon members. We have gotten our... they're in here. We have gotten our dinner and a game dice sets in... Wait. Yep. And as you can see...
They're so pretty.
We've gotten our dinner and dice sets in. There they
are.
I
want it so bad.
This is just the promo dice. In fact, the only one that has our logo on it is the D20. But this is just a sample. These are wonderful dice. I love the pearlescence on it. I love the sparkles. And the logo came out amazing. You can even see the tines on the teeny tiny fork for the dinner and a game logo. So these dice are amazing. The rest of the order, this took 4 months to get here from China. So the rest of the order may be a bit because we didn't place the order until a month after we placed this. So hopefully they'll be here soon. But we're going to be giving those away as some of our higher level Patreon tier rewards. Plus, these dice vaults are going to start going out to our Patreon subscribers, and we are going to start giving all that out in January as we start up the new year and really try and increase our support for our followers and our fans. Also, though, if you don't want to do Patreon, you can go to the Dinner and a Game store, www.dinnerandgame.net, and you can get swag because we have all kinds of stuff like hats and t-shirts, and we have all kinds of things from beanies, t-shirts, hats. We have all kinds of stuff, backpacks, everything you can think of. If you want to support us and show your love for us out in the community, that is one of the best ways to do it. All the proceeds from that go directly to supporting the show. Also, we have a whole bunch of other things that we want to get through this year. We've got a lot of announcements coming up. We've got some new things popping up, and we want you to keep abreast of that. We are going to be starting up a newsletter to get you guys the information out as soon as possible, so you guys know what's coming up and what's going on. So all that happening. Of course, also with the Patreon Awards, you get access to our Discord feed. You do not have to be a Patreon member to join our Discord. Our Discord link is in chat. You can join our Discord at any time. Patreon members just get access to special Patreon groups, and they get special titles in the Discord. So, you can, but please, if you want to join our Discord, please come on over. It's a great time. We're always there, always talking. It's a great place to go. Other than that, we also have someone with us today who is amazing in herself because she runs her own stream as well. Lauren, would you care to tell us a little about the show that you run?
Sure, I'd be pleased to.
Thank you.
So I am DMing for The Keep, which is me and a bunch of my friends, and we are getting into some crazy shenanigans. We're just wrapping up some time in the Feywild, and things are getting kind of crazy. So it's lots of fun. We stream at twitch.tv/TheKeepRPG on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And our VODs go up on our YouTube, also at The Keep RPG. So you should definitely come check us out.
And I've checked them out. Lauren runs a tight ship, and she keeps the boys in line, boys and girl now. But they're still a bunch of scalawags, and they tend to. She's put the fear of Lauren into them, but they still tend to kind of stray every now and then. But yeah, it's a great game, and you guys can go check it out. The Keep RPG, excellent game, and I happen to know the GM, so she's kind of cool. All right, so.
I was gonna say I also run a stream.
Huh? I didn't know you ran a stream.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
well then, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
by the way,
I
ladies
thought
and
we
gentlemen.
explained this to you, Ray.
No, I knew that she was on a stream. I didn't know she ran the stream.
Yes,
you
I ran the stream.
Sarah runs it.
I runs it. I mean,
And I
it
didn't-
was
I
my-
bet
it was
you-
my idea.
And I did not get Meg the information for your stream. I'm sorry.
I'll send it some. It's okay. It was my idea, and I'm the DM, and like creative director. I don't do all the somebody else does that because I'm like, help, I'm an old.
Help, I'm old.
I'm an old. And so like the youngest members like, I know how to stream because I stream, and we were like, thank you. I run a game called Your Average Adventuring Show, also known as Yas. The reason we chose that name is because the most of the players are we call ourselves Stims and Them because we are primarily female identifying or non-binary trans of some sort. So people using she her pronouns and they them pronouns. And we just finished episode 10. We aren't streaming live yet. We do just record and play stuff on YouTube, which is your average adventuring show on YouTube.
Gotcha.
So if you like stories with queer stuff, that's us.
Well, thank you very much for correcting me on that, and I really apologize for that. But we did want to give your show a plug, and thank you guys so much for letting us borrow Sarah so she can come on and actually be part of our stream. Thank you all over at Yaz. Other than that, I think that's all the announcements for the evening. And even with an extra announcement, I broke a record. Yay! So, tonight, as I said, we are doing a character build out for Changeling and Dreaming. Now, I have people in this group who have played Changeling before, so some of you already have characters made. Jonathan and Sarah, I know you have characters built out. Kira, I know you've mainly built out your character. I'm going to go through each one of you and let you guys tell us a little bit about your character's background and what you're playing. I'm going to go ahead and start out with Sarah.
All right. I have to unmute myself. I am playing a troll wilder. Her name is Sigrun, and she's a park ranger. She loves to hang out in the wilderness and hang out with animals. And she also plays in. I don't know exactly where we're setting this, so I don't know what city or whatever is the nearest.
We have an audio issue. Sarah's echoing. On Twitch.
Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, I'm just having a hard time hearing you. Guys, give me just a second.
So basically, Changeling the Dreaming, for those of you who don't know, is a RPG created by White Wolf.
Okay.
And it is pretty much a role-playing game where you play Fae. And it's a kind of a different take on Fae because it's not set in in a fantasy realm. It's set in modern day and age. So, Sarah, you were saying about your troll?
Yes, I was saying I don't know where we might be near because that would depend on what state park she works at. But she also plays in her local women's rugby league.
Gotcha.
She is 100% a himbo. 100%.
Gotcha.
No thoughts. Only vibes. She's not dumb and like she's got a degree, but she's a himbo. She likes to throw axes and lift and play rugby and yeah.
And you're a wilder, correct?
Wilder, uh-huh.
So in Changeling, the actual age that your character is directly correlates to how they can deal with the Fey world and the mortal world. Wilders are kind of in that middle ground where they're a little bit of both. They're still young enough to have that ideology and innocence of youth, but they're getting to that age where they're starting to get a little bit more jaded and a little bit more in touch with the realities of dealing with the mortal world too. So that's where Sigrid sits, and it is Sigrid, correct?
Sigrun?
Sigrun, sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's jump over to Jonathan. Jonathan, you are playing what?
I am also playing a troll. I think we're going to get along pretty well. So my character grew up in a dysfunctional family and ended up finding sports because one of the coaches at the school that he was going to recognized what he was and basically kind of took him under his wing. And then he went to college, on athletic scholarships and did the stereotypical athlete thing where he basically skid by on the scholarship and played sports. And then when he was done, he didn't know what to do. So he has basically regressed into everything that he enjoyed just doing when he wasn't playing sports. So he is basically like a Ren Fair, like LARPing, like almost homeless guy.
Almost homeless guy.
Until I find out which person's couch I'm crashing on currently.
Got it.
You're saying no, but like Ray said, we're gonna add to the story in our own way in the order that the dice rolls dictate. So if I go after you, I'm picking you now because that was like volunteering. That was like giving me a couch.
What is your character's name?
So he goes by Tyler, but his parents named him a very much more Nordic version of that name.
What is the Nordic version of that name?
I think it's Tyver. Let me double check. Oh no, it's just like it's Tyler. It's just spelled really funny.
Got it.
I can put it in chat, but you're gonna laugh because it's still Tyler. It's
That's
just,
okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I don't think he's running around spelling it that way.
He just spells it Tyler.
Yeah.
All right. So next we're going to go to Kira. Kira has played Among Us with us, and she is going to be joining us as a regular cast member on one of our other shows, which is soon to be announced, and no one say anything. But she's going to be joining us in one of our other shows, so we decided to bring her on and let her have a little chance at the table here on a one-shot. So, Kira, what are you playing tonight?
So, I am going to be a wilder slua who spends her days being a published horror novelist. And basically that is her entire life. She's a bit of a reclusive hermit, doesn't really leave her house, very into a propriety. You don't show up at her door without an invitation kind of person.
Yeah, that is actually a big thing in supernatural society in general. You don't show
up. Yeah, I know
up...
Slua are very particular.
Yes.
About those kinds of rules.
They don't even like people knowing where they live.
Yeah, no. You kind of pass around a little rumor that you're looking for her. She'll find you.
Gotcha. What is her name?
Rudana Scuro.
I do not know how to spell the last name.
Scuro Rudana. I swear to God, if Tyler ends up somehow crashing on her couch, I'll be shocked. Trolls and Slua are supposed to not like each other. Well, trolls don't like Slua, is the thing.
Okay, so that is the three people that have somewhat, either completely or somewhat made their characters. So I know everyone else has concepts ready. So let's go ahead and start the round robin. We'll go to the top left and go with Jessica. You have to unmute first. Jessica, you have a concept for your character, correct?
Yes, I have a concept.
What is that concept?
A red cap who has a junkyard.
Gotcha. So what I'm assuming then she would either be a grump or on the verge of becoming Grump Wilder. So how old do you think she is?
On the verge of becoming a grump.
So still a Wilder?
Yeah, I mean I don't want to.
Wilder is like 30 is like a grump. So anything below 30 could possibly be a Wilder, but you're in that range. Once you break like the 20 to 25 barrier, you're in that range of becoming a grump.
Screw it, I'll be a grump.
Okay.
Very grumpy.
Very grumpy. Do you have a name for your character yet?
Karen.
Karen? Karen what?
Smith.
There you go. All right. And you have a holding, right? Your junkyard was going to be like a holding, right?
Yeah.
And a holding, ladies and gentlemen, is something that is an area that the changelings can have that is mystically and magically theirs, as well as just being like she owns a junkyard. So this is not just a simple junkyard. This is a magic junkyard. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jessica. Let's go down the same column and go to Kessie.
Yay! I'm not totally like reading the book right now or anything.
So, Kessie, you did have a concept, though. What were you thinking about playing?
I do. I would very much like to play a puka.
And how old would you like the puka to be?
I was thinking like early mid-20s.
So you're going to be a Wilder as well.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Do you have a name for her yet?
No,
For them?
I do not at all.
Gotcha. That's okay. That can all come with time. Now, I think you had a special thing you wanted to do for your puka because you were having trouble making your decision about something, weren't you?
Yes, and we have 10 people watching right now, so hopefully the chat will be active and help me with this.
Gotcha.
I'm like very, very excited about this. Okay, so I have 2 different animals picked out for my puka character, and I really need help deciding because I feel like I can play both. Like.
And for those of you, who don't know, puka are a special type of fae that bond with an animal. And not only do they bond with the animal, but they literally can change into that animal, and they have physical traits that make them look like that animal. So it's a much stronger bond than just being like, I like cats. So go ahead and tell them what your 2 possible animals were.
So I would really, my 2 ideas were either a raccoon or a fox. And I really need help deciding between those 2 because I like the idea of playing either of those. Oh, Jesus!
I think she had that loaded and ready to go.
I think so.
Meg has a very decided opinion on what she wants Cassie to play. So we have
so
one
many
definite vote for
both.
raccoon.
Yes.
We have one vote for fox.
And I know who that is. So.
That's still one vote for fox. That's a raccoon that hangs out near a junkyard can be incredible.
Right? That would work out really, really well.
So that's 3 votes for raccoon.
3 for raccoon, 1 for fox.
Yep.
1 for fox that's getting repeated a lot.
Yeah, that's because that's a certain someone who is not gonna let it go.
Well, let's give it a couple more moments. Let chat decide. But while chat's deciding and voting, I'm going to jump over to Lauren. Lauren, you have a concept as well, do you not?
I do.
And what is that concept, ma'am?
So I'm going to be playing Merritt Patterson, and she is a Boggin chef, a wilder, so like early 20s probably, and she is a sous chef at a very classy restaurant, so very avant-garde, but it lets her experiment with her foods and her seasonings. And my headcanon in that is that she's searching and trying to come up with these perfect recipes that have like a literal taste of the dreaming. So the things that are super real to her from the dreaming, she's trying to bring into the normal life.
Gotcha.
And so she's very experimental, and she'll try her recipes on anybody who will sit still long enough to let her feed them.
Gotcha. Alrighty. So that is going to be basically the running cast for this show. We have Sigrun, the troll wilder, who is a park ranger and is very much in touch with her wild side. We have Tyler, who is a troll grump. Oh, and is pretty much a Ren Fair devotee and performer, right?
Yeah, basically that's. He'd rather be at like Ren Fairs and places like LARPing and Amp-Guard. Like that's his scene at this point.
Yeah. What does he do?
Because he still gets to do athletic stuff, and it's all kind of like quasi fantasy based.
Gotcha. So you are pretty much homeless?
No, I mean, as long as I don't roll to go first with my backstory, I'm hoping to end up on someone's couch.
Okay. But you're pretty much homeless?
Yeah,
there you
much,
go.
Yes. I am a certified bum.
There you are. And then we have Rudana, who is a wilder slua and a horror artist, a horror author. And we're gonna. How popular of a horror author do you want to be? Because you can like literally be like Stephen King famous if you want to, but it comes with all the complications of being Stephen King famous. Or you can just be mildly successful. that type of thing.
I don't think Slua would ever want to be Stephen King famous.
No.
Honestly, though, I'm willing to let this be a roll of the die.
Well, we'll see.
I'm
we'll
not
see.
sure.
It's a mechanic, so you're going to be spending points. So that we want to make sure we to wait until we get to that point, because you want to know how many points you have available, and you want to know how much you actually want to devote to it. Because you get positives, and you get negatives. Okay.
Mhm.
So it all depends on what you want to do. So we'll look at that in just a minute when we get to that portion of the mechanics.
Okay.
So and then we have Karen Smith, the red cap grump, who owns a junkyard, which is her holding. And we have an unnamed, as of yet, looks like it's going to be a raccoon puka.
So far we have 4 to 1.
And that, I'm totally okay with this. This is kind of what I wanted. So I just had come up with a second option just in case. And no, I'm good with this. I'm very much good with this.
So we have a question for the Boggin, for Lauren. Are the shows like Cake Boss and the Great British Bake Off a wonderful expansion of bakers, or a crass commercialization of the art? Thank you, Anthem91, for that amazing question.
I feel like the more experimental and out there they are, the more she likes them, because she sees sort of kindred spirits in them.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are just like competitions just for the sake of winning or to gain a title, she has absolutely no time for.
Gotcha. All right, now let's jump back to Kessie, because we need some more details on you. Okay.
Yep.
So you had concepts both for the raccoon and you had concepts for the fox. So what is your concept for the raccoon puka?
Well, you say concepts. That's a really loose term. I really hadn't come up with a whole lot yet. I was working on it. Sorry. Trying to do too many things at once right now.
Oh, an antiques dealer has been suggested.
That's actually a really, really, really good idea.
Dumpster diver.
No, I don't like that one.
Oh,
no.
You can be homeless with Jonathan's character.
Maybe. I feel like my character would very much enjoy frequenting Renaissance fairs, because there is a very nice eclectic options of things to be admired there. Right?
Maybe Kessie, I'll get enough resources to get a van, and then we can just live in the van.
Hey, I'm so down. So down. Down with
Kessie's
it.
a raccoon. She doesn't take up a lot of space.
Nope. I would be teeny tiny.
That's good, because I take up most of the space.
That's true.
I just have this thing of this little raccoon puka coming onto the park, coming into the park and making the park part of where she has her roaming. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, what's up? Just like a general, nod, I know it's you. Hey, what's up?
Yep. Because you can see through their seemings, so you can tell Fae and Chimera and everything, all the other supernatural things. All of you can see that.
Oh, guys, I have so many plans for Wednesday. I'm so excited. Just for the idea of how my character is.
Well, you obviously got a personality idea around it.
Oh,
so let's
God, yes.
Let's try and fit a personality, because remember, one thing about Changeling.
Yes.
Most changelings try and maintain some kind of actual mortal life, whether it is just being, and this happens a lot, whether it is just being a homeless person, or if it's someone who has an actual job, such as Kira's character who has an author, or Lauren's character who is a chef, or Sarah's character who is a park ranger, you know what I mean, or Jessica's character who literally owns a business. It's all kinds of those things happen. Now, puka have this weird thing, two weird things.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, every single type of fae has a bane and a boon. The puka's boon is the ability to shape change. They can turn into animals. Their bane is that puka, literally, no matter if they're in fae seeming or not, can never tell the whole truth. Ever. some part of every statement they make must be a lie.
Nice.
So that causes a lot of problems in Puka's everyday lives that makes it very hard for them to adjust to normal society.
Yeah.
So
I
you
can
might
see
be
that.
somewhat of an outsider.
Yeah. I kind of had this idea of like, because of like, especially like the age range I was picking, of like her being like a kind of like a college age student, and like, but being that real free spirited college student that, like, you know, she's majoring in something that doesn't, like, she doesn't even really have a major picked. She's just like taking a bunch of courses and like trying to figure out her life.
Major schmajor.
But,
I'm
like,
gonna go to college forever.
yeah. I mean, I'm not pulling that from real life experience at all. Not even in the slightest. I didn't go to college for 6 years before actually like settling on a path.
Well, let's set one thing up that'll help all of you decide on backgrounds. Let's go over where we are actually going to be setting this one shot in. We are going to be setting this one shot in the great and mighty city of San Francisco. Now, San Francisco is located. The Fae actually have the United States divided up into kingdoms, and San Francisco is located in the Kingdom of Pacifica, which basically goes from California to the Mexico border all the way up to the Canadian border in the north. So it takes up California, it takes up Oregon, takes up Washington. Nevada is actually not in it, but it's that entire area is one kingdom. And that kingdom is probably one of the most robust Fae kingdoms there is, because it's in the most eclectic part of the country. So there's more, I guess you'd say, ready access to glamour for most of the residents here, but it is also a very much a traditional part of the face of a Fae Kingdom, because this Fae Kingdom is one of the first ones that the Shi took over when they came back from into the world. So this is a really traditional Fae Kingdom. So there is a king and queen. They hold court. They grant out titles. They grant out baronies and duchies and everything like that. So it is very much a tradition. On the Fae side of reality, it's very traditional. On the reality side of reality, it's San Francisco. It is, number one, there is a huge gap in the living quality for residents of the city of San Francisco. It is very much a have and have-nots. There's very little middle class. There is basically the tech giants and a lot of other company headquarters are here, and the people who work there are very comfortable and well off. The people who work in the restaurants and all the other service industries that cater to their needs are not. So it's very much, there's a very large homeless problem. There is a very large problem with crime. Even though it's a gorgeous city, it's a very complicated city, and the Bay Area itself is, one of the highest, most expensive places to live. So if if you have a mortal job or a mortal anything, it is going to be based around the knowledge that you're going to be either struggling to maintain it, or you're going to, or you need to be at the top of your game so you don't have to struggle. So your mortal seeming might have a lot of influence over your life. Whereas if you don't have to worry about that, then you need to find a place for shelter, but other than that, you kind of don't have to worry about that aspect of it, and you're more probably focused on your Fae side of your life. So, back to that, Kessie. What do you think? I think that as a Puka, you probably focus a lot more on the Fae nature of your existence, and not so much on mortal comings and goings.
Yeah.
The Puka are well known as being people who don't really respect the idea of property and ownership.
Mhm.
And the Puka in general. Uh, certain types of Puka are even more suspect when it comes to maybe having sticky fingers, such
What?
as, ferret Puka, monkey Puka, raccoon Puka. So,
No. No.
are you going to be a college student?
That's what I was kind of leaning towards. I was kind of leaning towards a college student because I felt like also like that nocturnal quality
Mm-hmm.
would fit in very well there.
Mm-hmm. No classes before noon?
Yeah, definitely. She'd be mostly taking night classes with the few classes she would be taking at all. But yeah, just there was some other things I was thinking about, and now my mind just went blank.
That's okay. Well, if you want to take a moment to think of that, let's jump around
Yes.
here a little bit. Sarah, now that I've given you a location, of course, that's going to be no problem for you because
Right.
there are parks galore.
That's
Bay
what I'm
Area.
doing right now is
Yes.
looking up California state parks.
There is a freaking mess of them. Everything from Golden Gate State Park, which is right there on the island or on the peninsula, all the way over to, if you just go across the bridge, there's the Redwood Forest National Park.
Yeah,
So,
I was thinking either Redwood Forest or there's another one. What's it called? Mount Tamalpais State Park.
that one's more inland, right on the other side of the bay.
Yes, it is just north of San Francisco.
Yes. So either
Yeah.
one of those would work. What would happen is, you would be in that area, but since you're still considered in the freehold of San Francisco, you would still be under the jurisdiction of whoever holds the freehold. And since San Francisco is the capital of Pacifica, the king and queen manage the freehold. So you're literally under the king and queen of Pacifica. So if you get called to court, it's kind of a really big thing and you do get called to court once a month. Because you cannot skip it because you're literally going to go see the king and queen. And you do not want to thumb your nose at them. So, all that being said, what was the name of the park again?
It looks like it's Mount Tamalpais State Park. It is just north of San Francisco, so she is close enough to still be in and around San Francisco itself. So she's not that far away with the redwoods. But it is also far enough out that it's got trees and it's got the coast and it's got, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so it's probably maybe an hour or so north.
Yeah, so Mount Tamalpais itself, I can't see, and I don't even know if I'm saying this correctly. I'm going to see if I can find out.
It's about an hour.
Yeah, about an hour north of San Francisco. So she's still close enough to go to rugby practice. And go to play rugby games and stuff because she does play in the women's rugby league there, which is perfect because San Francisco definitely has a women's rugby team.
Oh, absolutely.
So she still can commute in to do that, but she can still live in the ranger state, in the ranger's house in the state park.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're up to 101, and it's, what is it? Oh man, it's only 10-15 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
So you could definitely do that. You could even live in town if you wanted to. Now you do get required to go out to spend a week, a month in the ranger station, because one of the big things the rangers' duties is out here, especially in the current climate, is monitoring for wildfires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I think she might live out at the ranger station, at permanent. She might live out there permanently. If she is allowed to live on the park grounds 24/7, that's where she chooses to live.
Yeah.
In some sort of little apartment, lodge, tiny house.
Yeah.
Because trolls have very, very Spartan things. It's if she can live, even just even though she's a big lady, she's 6'2" and full of muscles. Not from Brussels though. A tiny house would be perfect for her.
Yep, absolutely.
Something of that
Well,
sort.
and they probably have like cabins out there that the rangers
Yeah.
stay in, that type of thing.
Exactly.
How long has she been on the job?
She graduated from school like 3 or 4 years ago because she's like 24, 25. So she got her BS in wildlife biology or some sort of, conservation, and at 21, 22. So she's probably been a park ranger, I would say 3 years. Let's say 3 years.
Let me see here. All right. Thank you very much. So, your Fey seeming and your mortal life are almost interchangeable because you monitor the woods and the mountain areas, mountainous ranges out here, both for the stuff that you're supposed to do as a park ranger, which is taking care of the visitors, making sure that nothing bad happens to the park, making sure you're watching out for fire watch. Too many swords.
All the general conservation of, of making sure animals are fine, making sure that, checking out for blights and trees and doing all that general wildlife conservation that we would do as humans. But also then the extra of being Fey.
But also you are we may end up giving you a title, like a noble title, because you would be a warden of pretty much the northern borders of the San Francisco freehold. A freehold is a region that is controlled by some kind of nobility. And in this case, this is the freehold of the king and queen of this area. And since you live on like the northern edge of their freehold, you would be like the vanguard against anything weird that might be happening out there. So you don't just monitor the human side of it, you monitor the actual Fey side of it, because there are monsters. There are, human beings can't really see them, but because they're creatures of the stuff of dreaming. But there are monsters, and there are creatures that could seek to invade the kingdom. And slipping through these forests and in these back trails is one of the ways they try and get in. So that's another job that you have. So
Mount Tamalpais is also it's got coast. It's on the California coast. So if there's anything with like Selkie and all of the Pacific Ocean as well.
Yep, absolutely. So and you basically kind of you get assigned different places and regions in the park depending on what duties you have at that time. And so your whole point and position is you're that vanguard notification. If anything is going on, you're the first to encounter it. Your whole job is to let someone know what's going on, not necessarily to try and stop it, because you don't know. You're just there as I'm hitting the bell. I'm. There's
Gondor calls for aid. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The beacons are lit. So there we go. All right. So we've got that. Actually helps out a lot because now we've got a lot of background for your character, and we can start. That can be easily worked into a lot of other things. So that is amazingly good. Thank you very much. So let's go over to. Let's go to Kira, because I'm kind of interested to experiment with the idea of a famous Sluagh.
Okay.
So Kira, what we're going to look at real quick is, I wish I had thought of doing this. I should have set this up so I could project the Changeling book onto the screen, but I forgot to set that up. But we're going to look at the backgrounds for your character. The reason for that is you are going to be at least somewhat known author. And in order to do that, there's a lot of mechanics in the game. If you're looking at the different things, one of the things is advantages. It's actually step 4 in the character creation process. And for the advantages, you have to choose backgrounds, of which you get 5 points just for being a character, and then you have arts and realms. Now, we're not going to talk about arts and realms right now, because that's the supernatural powers that a Fae has. Backgrounds is what we're going to be looking at. So let me find what page backgrounds are on. I was too busy building the layout to actually bookmark this book properly. Arts and Realms, basic rules. I'll try 202 and try from there. Alrighty. That's a very pretty piece of art. Oh yeah, that's 202. That's Arts and Realms. I'm hoping backgrounds will be right after it. Or right before it. Nope.
You're looking for the backgrounds in the core book?
Yep.
They're on page 149.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Ish.
I take it you're looking at them? I mean, I'm in the middle of them, so I don't know where they start exactly.
I will find it, but thank you very much for letting me know where it was. It's just a matter of a few clicks to get there. So, Kira, we're looking at backgrounds for your character, and there is backgrounds span a section of categories. So those backgrounds are basically based around your Fey life, your mortal life, and the way those kind of cross over each other. Okay? So one of the backgrounds that is maybe useful to you is going to be, I think it's called notoriety. Let me check it here. Mentor resources.
If it's not in this book, Ray, I know it's in other ones, and often it's called fame.
In this one, there's dreamers.
Dreamers would be another one she want to take some in, because her fans would be her dreamers. But she needs to be able to have some kind of fame. Retinue, remembrance, title, treasures. Trying to find it. Holdings, dreamers, contacts. Chimerical companions. Chimera. Chimera are going to be cool. I can't wait to tell people. Chimera are literally creatures that are magical. No one can see them but other Fae or supernatural creatures. And not even all supernatural creatures can see them. And they can do all kinds of things. Like, they can be intelligent, everything like that. So, like, you know, if Kessie wanted to be a puka with an actual magical talking raccoon that would follow her around, then she could make that with Chimera. It is
Don't tempt me with these things. Don't tempt me.
Spoiler alert! When I made my character, I did give my character a chimera.
Oh, you did? What type of chimera is it?
I haven't decided yet. I just know because now I know that we're in California. I can research local wildlife. So now I'm going into my local San Francisco wildlife research mode.
Well, it's definitely a robust ecosystem out there. So you should be able to find everything from brown and black bears all the way over to, like, you know, ferrets, raccoons, eagles, hawks. But it doesn't just have to be a natural creature. If you spend it for a chimera, you could have like a small dragon.
Yeah, that's why I was also looking in Germanic and Norse mythology for something like a Vogeltinger or something.
Yeah.
But that's more research, yeah.
All right, what were you trying to say, Jonathan?
I was going to say it's not specific to the Changeling book, but the wiki says that it was called Fame and that it's considered a common background across World of Darkness.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to see if I can find one of the other books that would have had it in it real quick.
Got it. Well, let me just look it up real quick as you did. I will do so as well. All right, so basically... That's not it.
Okay, I found it. 1 dot is subculture of a city. 2 dots is a majority of a populace recognizes your face, such as a local celebrity like a newscaster. 3 is statewide. 4 is national. 5 is international.
Okay, so those levels of fame determine, like, kind of give you some notoriety. Authors, if, like, I love Piers Anthony. I have no idea what he looks like.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture of Piers Anthony. So you don't have to take a hell of a lot of dots in fame to be a successful author. Do you do you live off the money you make as an author?
Yes, she would.
Okay. So you're probably going to take maybe 1 dot in fame because your name is known. Your pen name is known at least. And then you might want to take a couple of dots, like in another background called resources. Resources is literally the amount of money you have. 2 dots in resources, it doesn't mean you're broke. It means that you have enough money to make your bills. You have a decent place. If you want to be somewhat well off, you can put 3 dots in it. Because remember, you have 5 dots for free just to spend on it. Okay, so you can put 5 more dots in it. If you put 5 dots in it, you're a millionaire, right? Yeah. So it depends on how much you want to do that. But those are the 2 I suggest: at least 1 dot in fame, and then a few dots in resources to reflect, hey, I make money off of this. This is how I survive, etc., etc. And anyone who has a mortal job should try and take at least 1 or 2 dots in resources to reflect your salary or the money you make, or anyone has a mortal business, right? That's just because it reflects what you have. Now, you wouldn't. Holdings is another background, and I'm going to bring this up because this might affect Jessica, and it could even affect Lauren. Your character has inherited a freehold, such as freeholds are greatly coveted by other kin. You may be required to spend much of your time protecting it from squatters. Freeholds are held by nobles. Some freeholds belong exclusively to commoners. In rare instances, a freehold may be secreted away and held by an individual. Freeholds are basically an area where you can go just to gain glamour. The freehold produces glamour for you. And it could be something like, Jessica, your junkyard could be a freehold because people come there because they're looking to fulfill dreams. They're trying to rebuild that 57 Chevy and they're looking for that rare part. They're trying, they're everything like that. So it could be your junkyard could be a freehold. Lauren, the restaurant you work at could be a freehold because, all the creativity that pours out there and the people that go there to enjoy it and experience it, it could be a freehold as well. So for every point that you put into holdings, you get 1 point of free glamour to regenerate just every session. So if you spend a bunch of glamour the last session, the next session you get a free point. It's to signify that you have access to the freehold. So for every dot you spend in holdings, you get another point of glamour. Okay. Let me see. Jonathan, your troll is very connected into Fey society.
Yes.
Oh, you already built your character, correct? What did you do? Did you do all your backgrounds already?
I was messing around with stuff. I actually was going to ask you a question because that conversation I was just having with Kessie, I was wondering. It kind of implies a freehold is traditionally over a stationary object, but it focuses more on the creativity side of it. Is it possible that a VW microbus that from '69 that went to Woodstock and everything can actually hold?
Yeah, actually, that would not be a freehold. That would be something called a treasure.
No, but I mean they would actually be able to hold a freehold in it from all of the travels and creativity where it went.
Okay, it's not exactly how it works.
No, that's fine. I was just curious.
Items don't really work like that unless they're enchanted magical items, and then they're called treasures. The concept of a freehold is not the thing itself. It's the capacity that thing has to generate awe and inspiration, or even fear or whatever in mortals. So it kind of has to be something that's known, that mortals know about, and mortals talk about and have an interest in, so that way they can actually, the glamour is known. And when it talks about hidden ones, that would be a secret hidden treasure that people still talk about, like the Font of Eternal Youth that's supposed to be in Florida. You know what I mean? People talk about those legends all the time. So if you know where it is, you could have access to it, but it might be hidden. So that's kind of where it goes. And oh yeah, a large retinue is another thing. That's what I was going to also talk to you, Kira, about. Was there's other things called dreamers. Dreamers are another way to access glamour. And because you have fans, it might be a way you actually access your glamour, because the dreamers, changelings gather glamour from the dreamers they inspire or find along the way. This background represents the number of dreamers your character knows from whom he draws glamour. These dreamers can be used to perform a number of services, although they're not like loyal servants or anything like that. That would be another background called retinue. For every dreamer you have access to, you can gain a point of glamour, but you have to be in their presence. So like you have to go, like I was talking about, you had to go do a reading at a bookstore, and all your true fans would be there. So like if you have a very small fan following, you would have access to like 1 point, which means that you go to do the reading and you get a point of glamour. Or just go to do a book signing or sign autographs on the street, stuff like that. So you can go up to 5 points in that too. So as you can see, the backgrounds start to get really kind of expensive because you only have 5 points and there's a lot of resources tied up in backgrounds. Retinue these are mortals that are loyal to you and normally know what you are. There's a process a changeling can do called enchanting, where they spend a point of glamour on a mortal, and they have to spend the point of glamour permanently to make it a permanent thing. But they spend a point of glamour on a mortal, and a mortal can see the Fae. So this has to be a very trusted person, someone who you have absolute trust in, and they have absolute loyalty to you. But they would become what's called part of your retinue. And this is mortals who are loyal to you, will do things that you ask, will help you, will aid you, and this is definitely not something that should be abused. These are not servants. These are friends, okay? Friends you trust literally with your life. And then there's for every dot you get for the 1 dot you get 1 in your retinue. 2 dots is 2. 3 dots it goes up to 4. 4 dots it goes up to 6, and 5 dots it goes up to 10. So now none of you are titled yet, but there's another background called title, and title only affects the Fae side of the world. A title means that you literally are granted a title by the king and queen, or the duke and duchess, or whoever is in your area, or whoever rules over the settlement you're in. So like a single dot is a squire, 2 dots is a knight or a lady, 3 dots is a baron or a baroness, 4 dots is a count or a countess, and 5 dots is a duke or a duchess. So they use the French version of nobility. But that means also, though, you have responsibilities at Fae Court. The king and queen will literally be calling on you for specific things, and you will also receive like an area that's yours, but it's also yours to protect and take care of. So, ta-da! So let's go ahead and start going around to some people. So let's start. We're going to look at that in a minute. But for those of you who already made characters and are looking at backgrounds, do any of you have any questions about backgrounds right now?
Yes. I've got because I did the full thing where I did backgrounds, everything, and I've done my freebie points as well. Mm-hmm. But I can change stuff around pretty easily. As of right now, I have a chimera. I have Grammain and resources. I took off treasure because if you want to add a title, I'm not opposed to it. Squire, knight, either one. I wasn't
going to make you spend much. Squire would be fine.
Okay.
If you want to like put another point back into treasure.
Okay. I was gonna ask about the chimera. How
many points do you sink into it?
I had 3, but I can switch some stuff around.
For 3, I would let you have something like a creature that you could actually ride.
Okay, well, this is what I was thinking. Is her chimera would be a wild boar. Some sort of wild boar-based creature, because they are the symbol of warriors in a lot of Germanic and Scandinavian and Anglo-Saxon myth.
Mm-hmm. And that is definitely true. So what was the be?
And there are feral boars in California.
Yes, they're everywhere actually.
Yeah.
So.
But I could take that down to 2 and switch stuff into title.
If you want to do that, you can. For the boar, it would like if it's just a friend, then you could do it as 2, but you wouldn't be able to like write it as a mount.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about writing as a mount. It would
Okay.
just be like my buddy, who like helps me find mushrooms and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, and he's not nothing to just to sneeze at. He's a boar.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if he gets mad, he can do some damage. He can wreck
Exactly.
shop.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would definitely qualify under 2. So you're perfectly good on 2.
Okay. And then I'm gonna put that other dot back in treasure. I'm taking it as a family heirloom. I haven't quite decided what it is yet.
Gotcha.
It's probably going to be some sort of axe, or like an axe hatchet,
I was gonna
or
say
machete or something. Being a park ranger, using it for actual practical purposes of like hacking things out of the way and stuff like that, with the added benefit of it, being a battle weapon.
anything. Mine is I have the 95 version, but I'm using the 97 version. So it's a second print. It's a second edition.
Yeah, I have the 95. Edition. Yeah, I have the 95 version.
Yeah, because he was saying there's a discrepancy between his version of Retinue and what I read out, and so mine's the 97 version. So
okay.
And if there's any discrepancies, we can iron them out. It's no big deal. So, Kira, did you have any questions about backgrounds? Nope.
As of now, no, I don't think so. I'm currently in like an internal debate on if I want to dump something into retainers, or not retainer, retinue or dreamers, or both.
Gotcha.
So I'm looking at that.
Gotcha.
Because I'm debating on whether or not it'd be interesting to have her her publisher or maybe her editor be in her retinue.
Or she could literally, because they have their own jobs and all that. She could, if she is decently enough, affluent enough, she could have a personal assistant.
That's true.
So there's that too. No problem. So let me know when you think about that. Jonathan, do you have any questions? Jessica has questions. Jessica, what you got? Unmute.
Yes, I have questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want my junkyard holding place thing to be like the place where the counting cars guys go to get their classic stuff.
Okay.
Like the Little Sister, which is a 1932 Ford Roadster.
Yep.
Things like that. But since I have a magical junkyard.
Well, that's what I was going to try and say. Are you going to make the junkyard a holding?
Yes.
Okay. So basically what this is this could be like a junkyard that you inherited. And it could be like, it could be full of classic cars. Yes. And it has a Ford 32 Packard, and it has real classic cars in it. So it's not just a piled up junkyard. You have big storage buildings that have these fucking amazing cars and rare parts, and so you have a lot of that idea going on. So yeah, you're one of the people that people try and come to when they're trying to source parts for like original restorations, where they're trying to get everything back to factory.
Yeah.
That's what you do. But let's look at something else, because you have not even built out your character yet, have you?
I'm having a really hard time hearing you, actually.
You're having a hard time hearing me? How about now?
Try again?
Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, you can hear me now. All right. So let me check.
No, I haven't finished building out my character.
So the character creation process is based on a points system in White Wolf. And the point system is divided up by sections of the character. Now, the first thing you do on any character creation in White Wolf is you come up with a character concept. The character concepts are the concept. You have to come up with a concept. You have to come up with your court. You have to come up with your legacy and your house, if applicable. And a house is literally a noble house. So, Sarah, did you pick a house?
I did not, because I did not plan.
Yeah,
I did not plan on having it. So yeah.
But you are granted your title, but you may choose your house because you are not she. So you may choose your own house. So that's something you're gonna look at, and then you use your seeming and your kith. So all those attributes are kind of, that's a lot to go over, but for the most part, when you're looking at legacies, you have a Seelie legacy and an unseelie legacy. Legacies can be found on page 129 starting. And it's a lot. You guys probably want to look at that because there's a lot. But I'll read you the general names of the legacies real quick. Karen seems like it's an answer, so many of these questions automatically. But the Seelie legacies are Bumpkin, Courtier, Crafter, which I think you already were thinking about, Dandy, Hermit, Orchid, Paladin, Panderer, Regent, Sage, Saint, Squire, Troubadour, and Wayfarer. Now those are pretty much, self-explanatory. The only ones that might be a little weird is Orchid, and Orchid is better safe than sorry. To be pure is to be unsullied. So and legacies are how you regain willpower in the game mechanically, but they're also like a young archetype that dictates the overall general behavior of your character. Okay, so and this is also reflected in the fact that Seelie are dual-natured creatures. Or Seelie, Fae are dual-natured creatures. They have a Seelie legacy and an unseelie legacy. Literally, if you wake up in a bad mood and you have a shitty day, you could slip into your unseelie legacy, which means your personality changes. Hey, Captain, how you doing? Changeling the Dreaming, yes, sir. So your unseelie legacy options are Beast, Fatalist, Fool, Grotesque, Knave, Outlaw, Pandora, Peacock, Rake, Riddler, Ringleader, Rogue, Savage, and Wretch. Now these are a little bit harder to discern because Beast is obvious. Beast is not obvious now that I read it. Beast literally states, you must be obeyed. Fatalist is obvious. Nothing ever makes you happy. Fool, you're always the clown. You refuse to take anything seriously. I think, Kira, you took Grotesque for your unseelie. That's you delight in disgusting others. Knave is an interesting one, but it says you like to push others to their limits. Outlaws, you take what others work for. Pandora is your curiosity will be your undoing, which is, basically curiosity killed the cat. Peacock, you are the most wonderful creature in the world. Me. Rake is your greed can never be satisfied. Riddler is the truth is best obscured. Ringleader is you are leader and others would do well to agree. Which is kind of like Beast, but I guess not. Rogue is you foment chaos for your own amusement. Savage is civilization and laws are crutches for the weak. And Wretch is you are worthless and beneath contempt. So when you do all this, when you change your seeming, your personality changes from your Seelie to your unseelie. So it should be quite an effect on your role playing, and it should be quite an effect on the way you interact with the world itself. Now, if you look, I don't think I printed you. Oh, Jessica, did I print you out a character sheet? Okay, so I'm about to take some notes here because I don't have a character sheet on me.
I've been taking notes.
Okay, good. So you took Wilder. So Wilder comes with some automatic scores, and I think all of you should have recorded these down by now. But who have character sheets? You have a glamour starting of 5, a starting willpower of 1, and a banality of 1. Glamour, as I said, is the magical power that Fays utilize to practice their magical abilities. Willpower is exactly what it sounds like. Willpower is your will overall, and it has a rating of 1 to 10. You start with 1. Banality is how much the world has affected you. Oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I was reading Changeling. Haha. Sorry, glamour is 4, not 5. Willpower is 2, not 1. And banality is 3. Now, banality is how much the cold, cruel nature of the world and the lack of creativity and man's split from his basic, more wondering nature has affected you over time. And banality goes directly against your glamour. So it hinders your ability to utilize your fey nature. Now, Jessica, you already picked. The Kith you guys have already picked. Houses you don't have to worry about unless you have a choose title for a background. Backgrounds we kind of went over. Now, the other two things we have to worry about are the magical properties of being a fae. And that is called your arts and your realms. Now, the arts are divided up into 6 different sections. And they're freaking difficult to understand. But they are separate divisions of how your magic can affect the world around you and yourself. So, and sorry, that's the realms. The arts are what you do to the world around you with the magic you have. So the realms are actor, fae, nature, prop, scene, and time. Now, all that means is, how does the magic ability you have affect each one of those? Now, you can put up to 5 points in these, okay? But you only have a set amount of points to start with. I do believe you have 5 points for realms, and you have 3 points for arts. Or it might be the other way around. I have to look it up again. Let me see if it has it.
You got it right, Ray.
I got it right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, you have 5 points for arts and 3 points for realms. So, your arts are based on how you want to do things. There is something called chicanery, which allows the casting of cantrips associated with trickery and befuddlement. Legerdemain allows the casting of cantrips involving pranks and illusions. Primal allows the casting of cantrips involving healing and resilience. Susei allows the casting of cantrips associated with luck and prophecy. Sovereign allows the casting of cantrips associated with command and rulership. And Wayfarer allows the casting of cantrips involving movement and travel. So they're kind of intuitive, but there's still some weird things in it. And then realms affects who you can affect with those magics you choose. Actor describes your affinity with people, meaning mortals. Fae describes your affinity with other Fae and Chimera and Changelings. Nature describes your affinity with things of the natural world, such as animals, plants, air, fire, water, earth. Prop describes your affinity with man-made things, necklaces, matches, or even computers. Scene describes your affinity with a particular location or setting. And time describes your affinity with the realm of time. Literally taking one of these other effects, one of your magical effects, and making it stretch out over time, or not happen until a certain time in the future, or even, scarily enough, affecting things in the past. Now, you only have 3 points to put in those, but you can buy more points with freebie points, because you do get freebie points, and you can buy more points with when we were talking about merits and flaws. If you take nothing but flaws, you can get up to 10 other freebie points by taking 10 points in flaws. So it all balances out. Hey, Spooky, how you doing? We're playing Changeling. But it all balances out in the end because you basically are going to, if you take 10 points of flaws, you're going to have a much more difficult time. So, they also have, that's all the basics for the backgrounds and stuff like that, but you also have to build out your attributes and your skills. Now, the attributes are they're divided up into 3 categories: physical, social, and mental. Thank you, Spooky. Thank you for following us. I don't know, but it's cool. We love you. But yes, so attributes are physical, social, and mental. And you can choose to have, you can put 7 points in one, 5 points in another, and 3 points in the other. Thank you for the biddies. We love you, Spooky. Thank you. You also have, oh, by the way, Spooky Sprinkles has her own channel, and it's amazing. She does artwork, and it's incredible. She's a partner of the Grouch Couch over in the Hero Network, I do believe it's called. But they're amazing. But anyway, yeah, so you're going to choose how you're going to prioritize those 3 categories of physical, social, and mental. The primary is going to get the 7, the tertiary is going to get the 5, and the last one's going to get the 3. Okay? And each one of those, the physical traits are strength, dexterity, and stamina, so you have 7 points to divide in those. Every single category starts with 1 dot in everything. Okay? And some of your kiths are going to give you extra advantages in certain areas. Like I do believe trolls get like an extra dot in strength and stuff like that. But you're going to choose your traits, you're going to put those in there. Then you're going to go to your skills. Your skills are divided into 3 columns as well: talents, skills, and knowledges. So you're going to have 13 for one column, 9 for another column, and 5 for another. Oh, and I was wrong. It's arts is 3 and realms is 5. I think I said that backwards at least once. So that's where you're going to put all the dots. Now the dots go fast, and the dots are, you're going to spend those very, very quickly. You'll be done very, very quickly, and you'll be looking for more points very, very quickly. So that's where we get to the idea of freebie points. You get 10 freebie points just for being a White Wolf character. Every single character gets 10 freebie points. But how freebie points spend is another matter, and I need to look that up.
So while we're waiting on this, I was just going to apologize for having to run off of screen real quick because my cat decided to shatter a wine bottle in my kitchen. Yay!
He's a good kitty.
I hate you sometimes.
Why?
I love you, but I hate you also sometimes.
Oh, you're talking to Frumpy?
He's a friend.
I'm talking to him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong. It's 15 freebie points. Now, freebie points have a chart on how they spend out. It's not 1 for 1. So when you get to the point where you're spending your freebie points, tell me you're there, and we'll go over how the freebie points are spent. So who needs to ask questions? Because I know people are going to need to ask questions.
I don't need to ask questions, but I did want to fill you in on the house I chose.
Uh-oh. So you took Noble?
Yeah, I took the title of Squire,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose House Dougal.
Dougal.
And in doing so, I have a physical handicap, and she's missing her left leg and uses a prosthetic.
The entire leg.
Well, knee. It's knee joint down. So she's got the thigh, and the thigh bone, but then the knee and down is all prosthesis.
Got it. Oh, and by the way, I was wrong about one thing on flaws. You can only take 7 points in flaws, not 10. So you can have a max total of 22 freebie points. So you have a prosthesis. You have no right leg on the right hand.
I don't have no left leg.
Left leg.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, because don't Slua regenerate?
I'm not Slua, I'm Troll.
Oh, sorry. For some reason I thought Kira was talking. I'm looking at the book.
No, it's me. No,
Right.
I'm a Troll.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is serious for a troll.
Oh no. We're gonna have a problem.
Why?
If you can't differentiate Sarah and Kira's voices, we're gonna have a major problem.
Oh no, I wasn't looking at Skype. I'm looking at the book. So.
Okay.
But I was gonna ask
I
something.
just was like.
The trolls kind of have a big thing on physical fitness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either way.
No, I was literally while you were talking and explaining all the stuff, I was researching athletic prosthesis.
That's true. They're much more advanced now.
Yep. So the athletic prosthesis, I researched prosthesis in hiking, I researched prosthesis in rugby, and it's all like the blades and it's like fiberglass and all the different things that they have. So she'll have a different prosthesis for hiking and doing her job.
Mm-hmm.
She'll have a prosthesis for playing rugby, and then she'll just have like a quote unquote everyday prosthesis when she's not out in the field.
Gotcha.
Do you use your prosthesis to beat people?
No.
No, that is frowned upon.
Yeah, that is what her fist and her axe is for.
I was about to say, I feel like the red cap would though.
Yeah, no, she is. I mean, when I talk about him, like she is very honorable. It's all about honorable combat, and that's why she plays sports. Is because there are rules. There are, there's a referee. There are things, she triple lettered in sports in high school. Like there are definitely it's not just like fighting for fighting's sake. It's when you have to have rules and order and all of that stuff. That's honorable combat for her is sport, like Jonathan's character.
I will totally use your prosthesis as a weapon.
If you can get my prosthesis away from me.
Yeah, there'll be an issue with that. She's still a troll. So there's the idea of you're gonna physically take something from a troll. That's not very likely to happen. All right.
So I'm gonna need the sleight of hand thing maxed to be able to take that.
Yeah, stealing someone's leg, no.
Let your command just to take your prosthesis.
Okay, well, magically, maybe.
Okay.
I have a Kessie question.
Yes.
Uh-oh, Kessie questions?
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. Are we legitimately trying to be like hobos together, or is that not a thing?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, we could both crash on Kira's couch. She probably has a...
Why you gotta do this to me? Troll hates Slua, and Slua are notorious for disliking Puka. Come on, guys.
Wait. I invoke the right of hospitality.
Only if you know where she lives.
Yeah,
you have to
good
get
luck
into
finding
her
my house.
Well, I mean, Kessie probably knows where she lives.
Why would Kessie know where she lives?
Because she's probably stolen something from her before.
Yeah, they are kind of hoarders. I'm not gonna lie.
They definitely are hoarders. So, Sarah lives out in the country, out on the parks.
Okay, hold on.
Jessica, you have your salvage yard. Where is it?
Where is it?
I mean, is it? Because it's not a low-end salvage yard. It's not junkyard. But there's not a lot of room on the peninsula, and land is expensive. So you would probably be on the other side of the bay, where land is much cheaper.
Well, keep in mind that this was something I inherited.
Yes, I know, but we's all grown-ups here. We know what taxes are, and we know what inheritance tax is, and we know that if you inherit, a 2-acre piece of land on the peninsula in San Francisco, that's worth like about $8.5 million, just the land, and then you have to pay taxes on that when you inherit it, and so the odds of you actually having, 8.5% of $8.5 million on hand. So yeah, let's move it off the peninsula and put it over the other side. How much for the leg? So, but yes, the big thing
those
is
things are expensive. I don't know who said that on Twitch, but those things are flippin' expensive.
Oh, gotcha, they are.
It was a Rocket the Raccoon reference.
Oh, yeah. I know it's a Rocket the Raccoon reference, but I'm saying if anybody comes for it, I'm gonna get you, Redcap and Puka. If anybody comes for this leg for making either like melting down or salvaging, no.
Or eating, because Redcaps.
Yeah.
So yeah, those prostheses are incredibly expensive, especially the ones that are designed for athletic level performance. They're insanely expensive, and especially because, as you described yourself, you are a bigger person, and so it had to be like a reinforced version of that. So it would be
yeah, she's built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah.
Like...
So that's a good idea. Let's do that. So let's start out. We'll go to the opposite corner I normally have been starting with, and Kira. Why don't you give us a general description of what your Sluagh looks like, both your mortal appearance and your fey seeming?
Oh, fuck. Okay. I have like a general idea. Mm-hmm. Hold on.
That's all we need.
Okay, well, as far...
Itch?
Continuing on.
Okay. I was like, I heard something, and I'm like, what?
Well, no, I thought Kira said she had an itch.
Oh. No.
Scratch it.
As far as like my general headcanon of like her Sluagh, the actual Sluagh appearance, very, very pale, almost like gray-white skin, deeply sunken eyes that are almost black as far as like the iris is concerned. Very like unnaturally, like almost require third joint long fingers. Very long, kind of straight black hair that falls down to her lower back. As far as how she dresses, she normally dresses very well. Usually in something that's collared with some kind of cravat and a blazer. Whether she pairs that with a full skirt or a trouser depends on the day. Usually walking around with some kind of a cane, mostly for aesthetic, not really for actual use. As far as her mortal seeming, I imagine like she still keeps the black hair, though it tends to veer more towards having some brown in it. That's usually pulled back in a pretty severe bun. I imagine very round glasses on her face. Eyes not as sunken, but she definitely looks like she could probably use a bit more sleep. Kind of a hazel-colored eye. Definitely more towards a porcelain, kind of a light skin tone. But the same general aesthetic as far as what she wears.
Now, do you know the Banes of Apuka. Slua.
I was like, what?
Slua. There are two.
The word bane escapes my mind.
Bane is the drawback, the the hindrance.
Okay, so I will confess, I started with the first book I saw, which was the 95 version, not the 97 version.
It's in there too.
Okay, so I think there might have been frailties?
Yeah, it probably is frailties, yes.
I know one of them's the whisper.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Slua's big thing is finding and learning secrets. Mm-hmm. And way back in ancient times, they also had a bad habit of telling those secrets. And that got their entire kith cursed by a powerful noble. And that curse stole the Slua's voice. So now they can speak in nothing more than a whisper. So whenever you speak, we're going to have to assume you're whispering, because if you whisper, the mic might not pick you up.
Yeah. But I just assume she's very soft-spoken.
Yes.
But I'm not going to actually whisper.
Yes, please don't. But the other thing is, Slua, your appearance is right on par, except for one major point. Mm-hmm. Slua have skeletal faces. They have thin to no lips and no
teeth
and no nose.
Yeah, that's true.
They have teeth somewhat, but sometimes it's like
I feel like I read that wrong then.
Yeah. I thought they had teeth.
See, I swear I read that they didn't.
They may not have teeth. Voldemort.
I know they have like the no nose, the Voldemort no nose. I know that.
Yeah.
I know they have an almost like gaunt skeletal appearance. I don't know that it's an actual full skull, and I know they have very thin lips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say it's almost like non-existent lips. When they close their mouth, it's just like a slit on their face.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. So that is Rudana. So we have a picture of Rudana in our head now. How about Merritt Patterson?
Okay, physical description for Merritt. So in her mortal guise, fairly average height, relatively plump, sort of mousy brown hair that's got the hope of sort of being curly, but not too much of the actuality. The sort of average features, sort of slightly squinty eyes and a slightly larger than normal nose and big cheeks with a little dimple. Very sort of plainly dressed. She doesn't really care about her clothes because most of her stuff tends to get food stains on it anyway. If you spend any time really around her, you'll notice that most of what she does is fairly shabby, fairly second or third hand until you get into the kitchen. And anything that she makes in the kitchen is a higher quality. That's where she'll invest her money. That's where she has all sorts of cooking implements and gadgetry. Like, she has upgraded her kitchen to produce just about anything that she can think of. She's got a tool to make it happen in the kitchen.
Got it.
Her fae seeming, kind of think a hobbit from Lord of the Rings, where it's still that very sort of plump, but where before her features had just been kind of average, now they were kind of a little bit more exaggerated.
Are they more cherubic?
Yeah, a little bit. Still fairly plainly dressed. Still, the kitchen is obviously where she devotes herself to. But kind of like you were saying, that cherubic features. Bigger nose, wide grin, very, very. I don't know. I keep coming back to hobbits, and especially to the sort of barmaid character Rosie that Sam ends up with, as sort of an aesthetic.
For some reason, when you were describing it to me, you know who David the Gnome is?
Yes!
Did you ever see pictures of his wife?
I don't remember. I remember watching growing up when I was a kid, but it's been forever. I will have to look this up now.
Yeah, kind of like that. Except she's a blonde, so had to change that part.
That is okay. Just
all right.
How she is, except browner hair.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, excellent. Thank you very much for the description of Miss Merritt Patterson. So let's jump around and go to Sarah for your description of Sigrun. I mean, you kind of given a description of her, but
I can give a little bit more of a detailed description. And the easiest way for me to say it is if you guys know who the cosplayer and voice actress and model Autumn Ivy is, that's who I'm thinking of when I do. Like I see Cassie going, yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly who I'm thinking of.
TikTok.
Yeah. I've been scrolling through her Insta, and I'm too queer for this.
Oh yeah, that's. Ooh.
So that's who I'm thinking of her mortal seeming. Just fit AF. Lady, big, lift heavy things. Shorter hair. She doesn't have her hair dyed. It is her natural kind of. Because we're going for like a Scandinavian Nordic thing here. It is kind of a like white blonde hair, but it is short where she can style it into like a faux hawk or just, one of those great queer women haircuts that we love. And then her face seeming is not much different. Her skin is bluer, being that she is basically a frost giant of some sort, or a giant of Scandinavian Northern Germanic heritage. So her hair goes from a light blonde to almost pure white to a light blue skin, and she just has slightly more protruding like jaw and brow bone when she's in her full face seeming, and prosthetic. And her mortal seeming, it's the like full fiberglass fancy prosthetics, and her face seeming, she will put on what is essentially like an old axe handle for her prosthetic to go old school with it.
Gotcha. So, on her, what is the style of her horns?
I was thinking, because I'm very big in like, obviously you could tell regionalities and like bringing things from like the region. Her horns, I'm thinking, because I was going with like boar, even though boars don't really have horns. So the next thing would be almost sheep style.
Or rams.
Going for like the ram's horn style of like curving and really, really tight to the skull.
Okay.
And white as well. Like
they come in all different sizes, so it can be like just the ones, the vestigial horns that come out like that, all the way up to the full ram's horns that curl around their head.
Yeah, so let me have to take my. So hers would probably go to like right here. So not full, but just at like the tips of her ears and very, very close to her head. Yeah, like that. I don't know. I just saw something pop up in chat.
Oh, Skype, yeah. Oh, cool. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you want to be in Skype. Oh, Captain got that. Thank you very much, Captain.
Yeah.
Captain found you a picture.
Yes. So just think big Valkyrie Viking ice giant.
Like Baron Woods.
Yeah. And then mortal seeming Autumn Ivy with blonde hair.
Got it.
And less tattoos.
Got it. So, Karen, can we get a description of your lovely red cap once you unmute? No one had to have you unmuted for that. All right,
I'm
so
too glad nobody heard that one.
So, Karen, what does Karen look like both as a person, as Karen, and as her red cap self? And by the way, you can have two separate names. You can have your name, and most Fae do. So you can have the name that you go by in the mortal world, and you can have the name you go by as your Fae. Because remember, the Fae side of your personality is eternal. It has been reborn over and over again into mortal bodies. So it has basically its own personality almost, but not really, because it's still you. But it has its own story, and it has legends, and there is a background that lets you become more in touch with that, to where you can call up knowledge and skills from past lives. So back to Karen. What does Karen look like?
Oh, that's what I'm looking for. So talk to Jonathan.
Okay, but you need a Fey one too, which is not going to look like that. So, Jonathan, Tyler, what does Tyler physically look like, both as a person and as a troll?
So as a person, he has extremely blue eyes, dark colored hair, perpetual stubble, very physically fit looking. Like he's taller than average, but not like excessively. But he is taller than average, but he's very like well built, very troll-esque in that sense. And then the horns are in the style of a Markor horn, but smaller.
A what horn?
Yeah, I know. Okay, let me throw it in chat, because...
What's a Markor? What's a Markor? What the hell is that?
That is a goat.
Is that a goat?
That's a style of horn. I don't know if that's the goat's name or not, but...
You could open wine bottles with those.
Yeah, smaller. Smaller. not as huge as they are on that thing, but...
I like it.
All right,
but
so...
that effect, that look.
So basically you have corkscrews coming off your head.
Yeah, off a little bit to the back, yeah.
Gotcha.
But they're not anywhere near as huge as the one I just showed you on that animal.
Understood. So, so that's kind of unique. What about hair color and skin color?
Well, you asked what kind of horns we had, and I was like, I'm gonna Google what kind of horns exist, and I found this nifty little chart, and I was like, I like that style.
So, what about your skin tone as a troll, and your what's your skin as a mortal? Are you like pale? Are you swarthy complected? What?
I'm fairly Nordic looking, just kind of with dark hair, light colored eyes. And then as a troll, from reading the books, I didn't find any references to any troll that was not blue-skinned. So I'm just assuming they're all basically blue-skinned.
Different shades of blue, yes.
Yeah, so I'm blue. Yeah, I can see Meg singing now.
All right. All right. So. Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was, I guess, it.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Thank you very much. Now we have a picture of Tyler. All right. So, Karen, do you need more time?
No, I was trying to read her shirt.
Oh, okay. So, Karen, what does Karen look like?
Her mortal seeming. Has anybody seen what Roseanne looks like today? Roseanne Barr, or whatever her last name is now.
I think it's still Barr, but yeah, I've seen her a few times. She's kind of been disappeared since she turned into a neo-Nazi, but...
I missed that one. I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah, she's pretty much been white supremacing all over the place. And then
okay, in that case, fuck her dumbass. I'll find another one. Oh, what the fuck is her name? See, I need more coffee. My brain's just not working.
All right. Well, why don't we give you a moment and we will go see if Kessie's ready.
Thank you.
I kind of am.
Cool.
I've been working on this, and I actually have an answer for Jonathan's question now. Of yes, definitely. Like my character, I was reading more and more in the Puka like area, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, she's got to be a fair performer too. So if you're hanging out in fairs, then like yeah, we're definitely connected in that way for sure. Because yeah, there's literally, it says something about like them liking to be performers and of that nature and stuff. So I feel like that's pretty perfect.
Well, let's start with something really basic. Did you think of a name yet?
Yes. Olivia.
Olivia.
Yes.
What's her last name?
I don't know. That I didn't get that. I didn't get
so
that.
So now she's
far.
Olivia Raccoon.
I don't ever get that far. That's fine. Olivia Raccoon.
Does she go by Ollie or Liv?
Like, I feel like she would pick up every nickname she could possibly get. So you can call her literally any interpretation of her name and she will answer to it.
All right, excellent. So, describe Olivia to us.
So she's gonna have like a really like short kind of pixie cut style haircut, but like very curly, dark hair, and then very pale complected, with pretty dark circles under her eyes. Like you can tell she spends all of her time awake. Dark brown eyes. She likes to dress in mostly like dark black and gray colors. And one of the things that I found that was interesting about the puka is that it says that even they, maintain a lot of these animalistic characteristics even in their human forms. And so I was thinking she'd have kind of like a long, like a longer, more pointed nose. And then it actually says that they could even maintain some of the actual literal physical characteristics of their animal form. So I was thinking, because it would just work out so well wandering around fairs, is that she would still maintain her raccoon tail even in human form, but she would have a way.
Mustache.
Shut up.
And at fair, she can actually let it out. The rest of the time, she has to have it stuffed in.
Yeah, exactly. Like she would find a way to like kind of disguise it, or not even the rest of the time. She would, if she found a way to like disguise it, make it look like she was just wearing a raccoon tail and not like it was her actual raccoon tail. There's plenty of people I know who wear raccoon tails in their who live that life, and they wear that constantly as an accessory. So I mean, she wouldn't be totally 1000% out of the ordinary doing that. So no, not that, Captain. That happened out at Texas Renaissance Festival this year. We're not going to talk about it.
Oh my
that's
God.
what Karen looks like.
Oh my God.
That's what Karen looks like?
No, oh God. I was talking about...
Okay, so let's continue with Kessie and we'll get back to Karen.
Captain said something specifically.
Yes.
And
Captain mentioned an incident
that was actually an incident this year.
A tail plug.
Yes. That was an actual incident this year. And we're not going to talk about that.
Atham91 said you need a Mario hat with the little ears on it.
So I have plans for what y'all need to you guys better make sure you tune on a Wednesday, because I got plans.
All right, so she's how tall is she, by the way? You can't really. Because you said she's kind of pale.
It says that they tend to be pretty like petite and stuff, like and pretty slender at least, or at least it said like slender, I think. So she's probably average height, like 5'7". 5'6", 5'7".
Got it.
And just like a pretty slender build.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. All right. So does everyone have the mechanics built out of their character sheets now with their points spent?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll wait on this a
Working on
second.
it.
That,
I'm
and
almost
actually,
done.
And actually,
Working
what
on it.
we can actually hold off on that for just a minute. Let's jump back over to Karen real quick. Jessica, you may have submitted a picture, but no one can see that except for Patreon followers. So we do need a description of Karen.
Well, actually, and I didn't realize this, but apparently that won the scariest Halloween costume of 2020. It's a mask.
Cool, but we still need a description of Karen.
Offhand, I would say middle-aged, chin length, blonde hair. Looks like she's either really high or needs a hell of a lot more sleep.
So bloodshot eyes.
Yeah, bloodshot eyes.
A little bit sunken.
Yeah. By the way, I took grotesque as my unseelie
Got it.
thing.
Kira's agreeing with you.
Well,
all right.
she can see the picture.
No, she has grotesque as well as her unseelie legacy. So eyes sunken in, short hair, average height.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a Karen. Average height, average build, everything like that.
That looks like the lady that had all those kids with the guy, and then she left him and had the next reality show where she was raising the kids all by herself without him.
Oh God, what the hell?
John and Kate plus 8.
That's
yes.
it.
Okay, so it looks like Kate with blonde hair, but is an extremely heavy smoker.
There
like
you go.
extremely heavy smoker with like all the smoker like facial features that you would expect from an extremely heavy smoker.
Okay, so now we're gonna look at the red cap seeming side of it. Now here's the thing you gotta remember about this. Red caps are big on body modification via power tools. So they like have literal screws screwed into their cheekbones that hold on metal plates. They have like teeth that they ripped out and then they punched metal replacement fangs into their own gums, and stuff like that. Red caps are intense on their seeming side. So what would you like to see your red cap look like on the Fae side?
On the face side?
Fae. Yes, your Fae seeming.
Hold on, because I found another one that was really funny. And by the way, that Karen you were talking about from the John and Kate plus 8, apparently a lot of these pictures are based on that lady.
Yes, they are. The thing of Karen, she is their poster child. So, but we can't. Don't show me a picture in chat. I can't use that. I need a description.
Fuck. Brain not working.
All right, well, we'll skip it and go on.
Yeah, every manager's nightmare. No joke.
Yes.
She is. I want to talk to your manager. I want to talk to his manager, and I want the corporate office phone number.
That is the usual.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's get back into this. So we're going to go ahead and get into some other aspects of this. We still got a little bit of time. So let's go over this real quick. We have some good background for Sarah, for Sarah's character, for Sigrun. So why don't we start out with you, if you don't mind, Sarah? Okay. So you've been working on the job for about 3 years, you said, as a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
You are currently a wilder. When did you first come into, like, when did you awaken to your Fae nature? Was it when you were younger, when you were like in college, high school?
No, it was when she was younger. Because I took, as far as my background goes, I actually took Fairview at 2 points in Grammain, so she actually is fairly aware of the Fae and all that stuff, especially now having this warden position. But she woke up, She kind of awoke, I would probably say right around puberty, 13, 14 years old.
Right.
It's also when she got her first big growth spurt.
Got it. So the growth spurt was way more than just a growth spurt.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right, so she has been a park ranger for 3 or 4 years, but she's been a fae for a hell of a lot longer. So it probably goes without saying that she worked towards this career line so she could better balance out the two aspects of her life. The fae side and the human side. As you did that, as you built this out, what was what was your interaction with the court? Since you have a title, do you readily come to court when called? Are you more reticent to leave? Do you answer the summons?
I chose as my legacy paladin, so as my Seelie legacy. So she is very much classic knight as far as power structures go. She is very yes my lord, yes my lady kind of stuff. She would prefer to stay out in the woods because that's just her preferred area, but when she is called, she goes.
Okay, so you make it your business to be very dutiful. You're honor bound. You're of course the boon and bane of a troll is basically
bond of honor.
Yes, bond of honor. If a troll gives its word, it must keep that
bond
promise.
of duty. Yeah, that's what's called bond of duty.
Yes. So it is very much a mystical as well as a honor situation. If the trolls do not keep that boon, that vow, then they lose their mystical strength.
Yeah.
So that is a very serious thing for trolls as an entity. So when you took the oath to be a squire, that's serious.
And absolutely sacred to her. Yeah.
And so you take this duty really, 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 really sacredly. Let us go around. I'm trying to think of who to tie you into. I keep on wanting to say Kessie because of the college thing, but I keep on forgetting you've been out of college for a while.
I mean, you could still tie me with Kessie if a raccoon wants to come out and hang out in the wilds, or you could tie me to Jonathan's character because we're both trolls.
Yeah, let's try that. Jonathan.
Okay.
You're a troll grump. So, or no, you're wilder or grump?
Grump. I'm like
grump.
Right at the end of the 20s, early 30s.
Gotcha. So you're grump. What is your situation? You're not a noble, right?
No.
But you do have the favor of a house.
I kind of stopped focusing on that because it didn't seem like anybody else was tying any connections into it, so I just let go of it.
Okay. So what is your trolls, other than like hanging out, going to Ren Fair and everything like that, what is Tyler's consideration of what he's trying to do, what he's trying to accomplish, as a human and as a fae? Does he have ambitions?
So as a human, he's absolutely lost. Like he's bounced around and done a little bit of everything that he could, like, private coaching, personal training, like just whatever would get him by at the moment. But he's kind of like just figured out all of that stuff was temporary and gave up on most of it to just sort of bum it up because he figured he could bum it up easier than he could try to like scrap by. On the fairy side of life, he very much is like considered himself to be on some kind of like quest or duty or protective service that he feels responsible for. What specifically that is, I have not completely assigned because I was waiting to figure out where everybody else is and see how that's all going to kind of like fit together. But he sees that as like the bigger purpose in life. Like he's willing to let his human side kind of like drift just because he'd rather let that drift and fly in the wind because it's not that important to him at the end.
So you are definitely, I mean, the Fae would refer to you, the she would refer to you as a hanger-on, but you are very intent on court life. You're very intent on making sure that you have you're present. You want to be like, your whole thing is like, you want to be given a quest, you want to be given a duty, you want to be given something, you want that chance to prove yourself. So if you have that aspect, if you find that, then that would be your driving goal. But you're basically saying you haven't found that yet.
No, I'm saying I was waiting to figure out what exactly I'm picking that to be from kind of like what we're doing here tonight.
Okay. All right. So let's jump over to Lauren.
Yes.
Your boggin is... What did you do for backgrounds? Have you done that yet?
Let me pull that up. For backgrounds, I have 2 in resources. So I've got like a little apartment and a beat up old rust bucket, but still serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
So where I can live and sustain myself and be able to commute to my job and back. I have 1 in treasure, and I figured that might be a family heirloom, like a copper bottom pan from grandma or something of that nature. And then I have 2 in... I put it in Dreamers because I thought it'd be really cool to have people who keep coming back to the restaurant to try the new chef's specialties whenever I have new things that I'm wanting them to try.
Gotcha.
I have a weird question. Does she have like a food blog or something where she like puts her recipes up on the internet, like talking about, like, is she any kind of food blogger?
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. That would be a lot of fun.
Sorry, I just was like, ooh, that sounds fun.
Yes.
So I was gonna say
yes.
you have that. Do you have anything in mentor or anything like that?
I do not.
Okay. Well, so you have a strong enough reputation as a cook. Damn. I'm trying to think of how to do this. So you have a good enough reputation as a cook that you also do things like, you are known in Fae society, and you can also cook on the chimerical level, because chimera are not just living creatures. They're also like a building in the real world might not look at all that way in the dreaming, but the new building in the dreaming is basically built around a completely different floor plan or a completely different structure, and that structure is made of chimera. So there is chimerical food and everything like that, and people can eat it and everything like that, and it does provide them sustenance because they're Fae. So you not only cook for humans, but you can cook for Fae. It's a very typical. It's a very common thing with the Boggins. They they often attend court as in that function of, we're the ones who cook those giant feasts that are the banquets and everything like that. So you have a reputation, and you've gained a reputation on that side. So you have been presented at court a number of times in order to do that and function and perform that function at court. So that's one step that I'm developing something. So Kira, your Slua. Slua are notoriously isolationists. When you're summoned to court, what is the nature of your response? I mean, you obviously can't go, and court is held once a month, and the majority of Fae in the realm are expected to attend. So what is your... And there are other Slua here and everything like that, although you don't even really hang out with each other.
Yeah.
So
unless we're getting together for high tea.
Yes. where they trade secrets.
Mhm.
But what is your concept of court? How willingly do you participate in court? It is a good place to gain secrets, but it is also, it's the drudgery of court, the listening to the nobles prattle on, blah 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 blah. What is your Slua's take on that situation?
She probably wouldn't really go for a lot of the actual noble gossip unless you knew who the true gossips were. A lot of it is she's going to be trying to talk into the ear of some of the others around and see what she can glean. If she finds she's coming up dry, she'll stay there for about as long as, like, propriety dictates and then leaves. She's not really there to be around a bunch of people. It's not her thing. She's there to kind of get information, and if she's coming up with a dry well of stuff that she already knows or just nothing useful, she's out.
Got it. Okay. Back around. Let's go to Kessie. Olivia obviously is someone who, she has to go to court when she's summoned. But since she hangs around with Tyler so much, how much of her, mortal life? Because you said she's a student still, correct?
Yeah.
So how much, is she a full-time student? Has she gone down to part-time? Okay,
She'd
better
probably be
question.
pretty part-time.
Better question. When did she become a Fae? When did it awaken? Is it recent? Is it,
I feel like it's probably been a little bit of time, like long enough for her to get used to it.
But that could be, depending on the person, that could be a week.
Well.
Or it could be 6 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say at least a few years.
Okay. So she's been a Fae for a few years. She's still getting used to the idea that, she's at someone's beck and call. When they call court, she has to go to court every single month. It doesn't matter if she has finals the next day or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a lot of, imposition on someone who is very much a free spirit, from what I can tell. So so how much mischief would she get into at court? Would she be intimidated by the fact and try and control her urges, or would she be like, they wanted me here, they know what I am? And Anthem 91 wants to know what Olivia's major is.
That's the thing. Like, that's one of the things I said earlier. Is like she doesn't really have a major. Yeah, she's like undeclared.
She's like a fourth year undeclared.
Yeah, she just likes to just dabble in kind of everything. Take whatever sounds interesting that semester. Like, just picks up a couple classes here and there. Maybe she'll eventually get to enough credits to get something.
She'll eventually graduate with a degree in humanities.
Yeah, something like that, All
right. So, so you, but yeah, when you go to court, what's your modus operandi? Do you kind of wallflower it and try and stay out of everyone's way, or do you look for things to do?
I think she looks for things to do. I think she likes to cause a little bit of. She's a raccoon. She's got to get into stuff.
Absolutely, the curiosity killed the raccoon.
Yes.
All right. So I've got an idea for how we can form this motley. Basically, this is going to be situated around court.
Oh, please tell me they invited me to court. Please,
They invite you to court every month. You're a red cap. They know what you are. You have to come to court every month. The king and queen require
well, in that case, I'm going to bring toys for the pukas.
What type of toys?
Harmless toys.
Like what?
Like chocolates that are actually laxatives. And,
oh, well. They've, do you hate pukas for some reason?
I'm sorry?
Do you hate pukas for some reason?
No, they're just, they're usually full of shit, so I figure they need help.
God. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, Karen has to go to court. She doesn't get to go list her grievances with all the other Fae. No, but yes. So you all are attending court. Um, Lauren had to step away for a second, unfortunately, because I needed her. 1 second.
But yeah, I would like to list my grievances
No.
with the other Fae. Just the ones that come to my holding.
If anyone comes to your holding without permission, that's a serious grievance. That's actually real. But here's the thing. You guys, once a month, court is convened. It is a formal setting, which means, it requires people to be announced. It requires people to, if they have anything they have to talk about or they want to present, they have to do it before court convenes, so they can put it in the registry, and the page has to announce everything coming in. So you guys are used to this. It's like half an hour of formalities before anything happens. After which the king will begin hearing anything that needs to be presented to him, and the rest of the people are allowed, while that's going on, to mill about, to have discussions with each other, and to partake of the sumptuous banquet that's prepared. Lawrence Boggin is one of the people who is working on the banquet, and you guys were all attending court as was required, and you pretty much spent a fairly boring evening, trying to make small talk with people. You all were at the buffet table where Lauren was, or should I say, where Lauren's character is serving up her portion of the creation for this. I begged you a banquet. Do you need for prepare for multiple trolls? Big. And don't forget, red caps can eat until eternity. So, but Lauren, your character was part of the team this month that actually prepared the banquet for court. It's the first time you have been actually asked onto the staff for the banquet itself. You have done meals for other nobles, personally and stuff like that, like as a personal chef type situation. But this is the first time you've actually been brought to court as part of the team that prepared the banquet. So this was kind of a big honor, and you basically spent a lot of time, prepping for it, designing the meal designing the item you wanted to prepare, getting it approved, everything like that. So as you guys were standing around, one of the nobles who was sampling your dish uh, basically was absolutely overwhelmed. He was so excited. He was gushing all over you. He basically was telling you how you are the most creative chef he has met in forever. This is the most amazing dish. He's never had chimerical cloud cake that tasted like this before. It's the most amazing thing he's ever had. And as everyone else was kind of waiting in line, while all the rest of you were kind of waiting in line as this man was gushing over this, he suddenly grabbed his throat. Oh, and by the way, he's a she, which is a high fae. He suddenly grabbed his throat, turned several shades of color, and collapsed onto the ground, which drew a huge crowd and a lot of noise. I mean, all of you began to step up to help him, but before you even could, one of the attending page at the table stepped over and started administering first aid to him, and quickly, and basically ended up having to use magic to try and save him because he was choking and he couldn't stop him. And all eyes turned back to your group because you're all around him, and the sergeant of arms, who is an old troll himself, came walking over and basically gruffly was like, "What goes on here? and everyone's kind of like, we don't know, he just collapsed, and everyone was pretty much going off about, this is, we don't have any idea what happened. This just collapsed. And he just collapsed out of nowhere. He was eating her cake, and the sergeant at arms comes walking over to you where you are, because they're healing the gentleman on the ground, and he comes walking over to where you are at, Lauren. Or sorry, should I say Merritt, where you're standing there, kind of like still with a plate with a piece of cake on it that you're about to hand to someone, and he comes walking over, and he's like, he takes a piece of cake from your hand, and he puts it on his nose and he sniffs it, and he's like staring at you the entire time, and he holds his hand over it, and he begins to gesticulate with his hand and move his hand about, and then the cake turns this almost a virulent green, sickly green color, and he's like, as I thought, poison. He's like, he looks around the rest of you, and he looks at you, and he kind of puts the cake down, and he's like, all of you are witnesses. He says, this one is implicated. And he looks down, and the page looks up and nods yes, and he says, are implicated in the attempted patricide. He says, we will begin questioning you all momentarily. And he looks up, and he snaps his fingers, and several armed troll and she warriors come walking up, and he's like, you will come with us. We have things to discuss. And you are led out of the room, paraded by all the other members of court, marched into a room in this building, and locked up and sequestered alone. Now, Merritt, you know you didn't poison that. There is nothing in that could have made him sick unless he was allergic, and you don't know what happened. As you are sitting there, and you all are kind of like stunned, and you're looking at each other, after a few moments, from a corner of the room that has very little lighting, a figure steps out. And he is a tall, gaunt Slua. He has no hair on his head. He has a very, very strong, angular features, almost elfin. The usual Slua body configuration. He is actually fairly tall. His arms are incredibly long, lean. He is wearing a black corset that is cinched up insanely tight. He has a long sleeve shirt on underneath it that goes down to these frilled cuffs at his wrists. He is wearing a veil over his face, but it's very, very sheer. And he is wearing a long pleated skirt that hangs all the way to the ground. And he comes walking out, and he looks at all you, and in a whisper he says, obviously, you all are being framed. He says, we would like to help. We know you did not do this. We tried to warn them. We will make sure you are not made the scapegoat, but we require something from all of you. And he holds up this very small, he's wearing a black leather glove, so it's a very small vial. And he says, this was used to poison her food. We need you to find out who did the poisoning. And he holds it, and he puts it down like there's a little end table. He puts down the end table, and he says, you have 1 day to prove your innocence. He says, I will make arrangements for you to be released on your own recognizance until such time as you are brought before justice. Be quick. Use all your resources. He says, but be quick. I am Baron Styx. you can find me under the bridge. And he kind of steps back and he just slides into the shadows and he's gone. So, you all are in a room together. Apparently you've been somehow implicated for murder, or attempted murder, and you barely know each other. So, who's going to break the ice?
Sigrun is freaking the F out. Like, full on about to have a panic attack. Like, heavy breathing, can't handle the idea that she would have broken her oath to her liege lord, to somebody of a higher rank than her. Like, full on, sitting on the floor, knees up to her chest, nearly rocking in place.
One thing that
just
Sigrun,
like breathing.
One thing that Sigrun might assuage Sigrun's guilt is that the she that you saw fall was no one you knew from the local court, which means he might have been a visitor from out of town.
Okay, that's a little bit better, but still, she's still a little bit. She's like,
right. No, I get it. I completely understand. Yeah.
So she's just breathing very heavily, like.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
Well, I guess if anyone is going to begin proper introductions, I guess it would be me. Rudana, pleasure. And you?
Who are you indicating when you say that?
Lauren.
Lauren?
I'm Merritt. This was not supposed to go like this. Obviously, this is not supposed to happen like this. This was a disaster of epic proportions. I have no idea how we can prove that this was not in my food. This was... Obviously, we have to take steps to address this. Hi, sorry. Rudana, a pleasure to meet you. And you? Over to Boykin.
Oh, I'm actually walking over to Kessie's character, and I'm tapping her on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. If we stick together, we can solve the murder mystery dinner theater thing on our own and split the prize.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Okay. Don't tell anybody else we're working together.
Got it.
Because it's everybody for themselves around here.
Yeah.
Also remember, Kessie, everything you say has to be at least a partial lie.
Yeah, got it.
So basically you don't think it's cool. Alright, so what about you?
So I'm sorry, Lauren, but if you're more insistent, I'll respond. But like I'm trying to like. So I think this is just one of the noble shows.
Yeah. No, I gestured over at you because you're taller than I am, and I saw movement out of the corner of my eye. And if you don't respond, I'm just going to go back to my muttering of, "Oh my gosh, this is the most horrible thing that could happen. People are never going to trust my cooking again. What are we going to do? Like, this is just awful."
My reputation is ruined.
I'm
One
gonna
murder
walk
can
Lauren's
really
character
mess
now,
you up.
And I'm going to ask her, so who had access to the food to put the poison in it?
I mean, there are a number of people in and out of the kitchen: the chefs, the servers, those who are preparing their own dishes.
I'm writing stuff down as she's saying it because I want to take notes.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so I just start listing off
everyone you saw come by you.
Essentially.
Gotcha. All right. So Sarah, as Sigrid, how do you are you able to get yourself under control, or
yeah, I think no, she definitely will do some deep breathing exercises. Like, you can see her counting to counting her breath, in 5, out 5. Like, she's very much doing these deep breathing exercises, and she just is like, yes, this is terrible. Why would somebody want to do this at court? Why? That doesn't make any sense. That's not what happens. This is why I stay in the woods. I don't understand.
Out of curiosity, Ray, do I have any dirt on this she? Like, why they're here, even their name?
One of the things you noted early in the evening as you arrived, Because, like I said, the first 30 minutes is just blah, 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 blathering of the normal court report. He was introduced as a Baron Creel, and he was introduced as being a Baron of the Kingdom of the Burning Sea, of the region of Appalachia. Not Appalachia, I'm sorry. It's the region of Creo, which, do you have anything in Ledger Domain? No, you don't have anything. You might not have that yet. So basically, the Kingdom of the Burning Sea is everything from Nevada, south of Colorado, Nebraska, and stuff like that, all the way over to Louisiana, Texas border. And so he is basically, from what this says, he is basically from the area of Houston. So he has come a long way. And Fae travel for a number of different reasons. They could be traveling because their mortal seeming is bringing them to the area, and they are required to present themselves to court when they go into a new area, as well as let the court know that they're coming to that area before they arrive. So this could have just been a formality of him presenting himself, but he is noble.
Okay. And I did actually take 1 point in Ledger Domain.
Okay, good. Then
Then
that basically what I was doing. I was giving you that information, but I was basically, Ledger Domain lets you know more stuff about the Fae side of things, and so you know how the United States is broken up. You know where certain areas are. You have basic knowledge of how the kingdom of this area is set up. Like I was saying, the Kingdom of Pacifica. Then there's a Kingdom of the Burning Sea, which I already described. There's a Kingdom of Grass, which is basically the plain states all the way over to the Illinois Valley. And then there's the Kingdom of Willows, which is Louisiana. It's basically the general south all the way up to Virginia. And then the Kingdom of the Wildfire and Sages is basically Florida. It's its own kingdom. And then there's the Kingdom of Apples, which is New York and the greater northeastern states. And there's all kinds. And then there's all kinds of regions within those kingdoms. But you basically have that understanding of the general breakdown of what's in the U.S. And then everything outside of the U.S. to the south is the Kingdom of the Feathered Serpent.
Okay.
So you know that he's from Houston. You know that he is a noble, titled noble, and so you know that but you don't have any idea why he was here, which might be one of the first things you want to find out. Mm-hmm. What about the rest of you? Karen, what about you? You're muted.
Sorry about that. What do I know of this guy?
No. What are your thoughts right now? You've been implicated possibly in a murder attempt or an assassination, as it were, since he's actually a noble. But you also were approached almost instantly by some slua who said he was going to arrange to get you all out and let go, and that he was asking you to investigate the murder.
I think it's very likely that either he or his is behind this.
Is that what you're telling everyone else?
Yeah. This is all a bunch of bullshit. Some guy comes from out of town that nobody knows. All of a sudden, they try and take out our prince. Yeah, come on. This is not rocket science. And if you didn't kill him, or tried to, stop worrying. By the way, do you have any more of that cake?
There certainly was a fair portion left. I don't think you'll be wanting to actually eat. No. And I look up at her and actually take her, and now I'm just like, sure, you can have it.
She is a red cap. So we have done a good job of getting everyone set up. It is past 10, so why don't we go ahead and start the actual show at this point on the next game. Does anyone need any help with anything in the characters before we let you all go? Any questions you want to ask?
I have a few questions still, but it's all like filling stuff in. Like it's not something we have to do now.
Sure, we can do it later on.
Like
that's no problem.
I have some couple things about like the freebie points and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
I think I've got the rest of it down.
You got it.
Yeah,
So we'll
trying
go
to-
ahead and do that. We can stay on the Skype call a little bit after this. But I want to thank everyone for showing up tonight. Thank you all very much for being here and attending. We're going to be moving on to the actual adventure next game. I'm glad we got a little bit of the preliminaries done. Kind of did the meet cute for you guys. And we
The meat terrible, you mean?
Oh well,
Meat
come
terrible.
on, come on. It's storytelling. Nothing's going to go smoothly.
Right?
Mystery, intrigue, adventure.
Hey,
Woo.
it's a murder dinner party with an actual murder.
Yay!
It's time to play Clue.
Dun dun dun.
Yes!
I just want to go back to my cabin, man.
Did it have to be my food that was
Ah.
poisoned?
What? That was a lot of chaos. So anyway,
Yep.
guys, thank you all very much for everyone who showed up tonight. We really appreciate it. We love you all very much, and thank you for your attendance. Thank you for the new subs. Thank you for the new follows. Thank you, Spooky Sprinkles, for your brief visit, but we love you very much, and we'll see you later at the Grouch Couch sometime. Also, do not forget, we are still trying to get to 300 followers on Twitch. Ooh, we got new followers. I wonder if my count
Yeah, I
went up.
know. Hold on. Give me a
288.
second. Damn it.
I
I was
got it.
trying to get there.
I had it up. So we have we're at 288 followers. We're trying to get to 300. When we give away 300, we're going to be giving away that set of incredible minis that was on the pre-roll film. So you guys can see those. They're 3D printed. They're amazing, high-quality miniatures. I cannot say enough good things about them. Where's the band bat? Here he is. I leave this one on my desk because it's gorgeous. But this is an example of the quality of printing that is coming out of this printer. This guy is the vampire's man bat form, and he's got a church steeple that he actually sits on, and it's a huge base. It's incredible, and the detail on this is absolutely outstanding. We're giving away 30 minis that are at this quality right in here. And that's going to be given out to one winner when we hit 300 followers. So please give us a follow. If you have already given us a follow, share us out on your social media. Let people know about us. Tell them just to go follow us to join the contest because they have a chance to win a bunch of free minis. And we only have 12 followers to go. So when we hit that 300 mark, we're going to give out those minis. Also, do not forget, we are still participating in Extra Life, and we will be till January 14th. Extra Life is an amazing charity. They do good work helping children, making sure that children have the medical help they need, whether it be children who are in need of financial aid for their medical situations, or it be through research on children's diseases. They work with the Children's Miracle Network, and they are an amazing charity that has 100% of their donations going to support hospitals in your local area. So like Dr. Runyon always says, be a hero, save a kid, donate to Extra Life. If you can't donate, share out the link that we just put up in chat, and maybe someone you know can take that extra step that you might not be able to at this time. But either way, we appreciate your help, and so do the kids. So be a hero, save a kid. Also, do not forget, if you can, if you're looking to buy gaming supplies right now, we are trying to support our gaming community. And to do that, we are trying to make sure that you guys are going to your local gaming stores first. Now, what we're doing to make sure this is safe is we're calling these game stores and we're making sure they're doing the right thing. Social distancing, masks for visits, curbside pickup. We're making sure that all this is being done before we recommend these stores for you to go to. The store to the night is the Gaming Goat in Austin, Texas. We have their link to their Facebook page up here, right there. They are doing curbside pickup. They're doing social distancing. They're doing master visits. Last I read, they may have changed this, but they actually had the store closed and were only doing curbside pickup. So these people are going the extra mile to make sure that you guys are safe. And we wanted to show them the love and let them know that we are here to support them just like they are doing their best to keep the community safe. So if you can and you live in the Austin area, go buy the Gaming Goat, buy a set of dice, buy a source book, buy something. Just show them some love and show them some support. If you're not in the Austin area, go to their Facebook page and tell them thank you for doing the right thing for the community, and let them know that Dinner and a Game sent you so we can let them know where the love is coming from. Just make sure that you do your best to support your local game stores, because as we said at the beginning of the show, we call these stores ahead of time to verify this, and a full 1/3 of the stores that I have called are no longer in business. They are gone. And COVID is wrecking our hobby community, and we need to do our best to try and support it. Speaking of supporting people, if you want to support anybody, you can also support us. You can subscribe here on our Twitch channel. We love subscriptions. We thank you so much for them. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have a free Twitch subscription to give out, and we will be honored if you gave it to us. If you don't want to support us through Twitch, we have our Patreon. Our Patreon has a bunch of different reward tiers, and some of those tiers give you direct access to our Discord with special titles, give you access to our Discord Patreon only channels. They give you access to our. We're going to be starting running our Patreon games for our actual Patreon followers once a month. All that is listed in there. And our Discord is actually open to the public. The link is here in chat. You can join the Discord even if you're not a Patreon member. But if you're a Patreon member, even a $1 tier member gets special titles in the Discord chat. So please join our Discord. We're always there. We're always chatting, except for when we're asleep. And we love to have that contact interaction with you guys. It helps us, really, it helps us understand that you are actually there, and that you actually do want to see more actual content from us, and it really, really makes our day. We even have started playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, and we have guilds where we play the game with you guys, and so it's been a lot of fun. But also, don't forget that we have our merch store, which you can get our branded merchandise. Which includes hats, t-shirts, koozies. I always say koozies, and I still haven't done the koozie yet. Tats, t-shirts, backpacks, everything with Dinner and a Game merch, so you can rep the show in public. And any purchases you make from our store, they go directly to supporting us. And they give us the ability to get better equipment out to our streamers so we can all be on the same quality level and make sure that we have the same quality of stream going out for you guys, so it's the best we can offer for you. Now, we also have a couple of other folks with us tonight who actually participate in their own streams. First, we have Lauren, who is the GM over at The Keep. Lauren, would you tell us a little bit about The Keep, please?
Sure. So I'm currently taking a bunch of my friends through a homebrew D&D based on 5e game scenario campaign. That's the word I was looking for, campaign.
It's late.
It's getting there. And I'm solar powered. The sun has gone down and it's time for bed. But so I've been taking them through that, and we've been having some crazy shenanigans. We stream on Wednesdays at twitch.tv/thekeeprpg, and our VODs go up on our YouTube. Also, The Keep RPG. You should totally check us out.
Thank you very much. And Sarah, aren't you a member of a group called Yas?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us about them?
Yes. Yas stands for Your Average Adventuring Show. We are also a actual play show. It's just Your Average Adventuring Show on YouTube. We have a Ko-fi and a Patreon and all that stuff. All that's linked. You can find us on Facebook. We record and put up shows. We record on Sundays, and every other Wednesday is when they go up on our YouTube. And we are a primarily queer, and like the one or two people who aren't queer on this stream are allies. Actually, you know what? I think it's just the one. And we just mostly want to say, like, our big thing is better community through gaming and better gaming through community. So we're all about showing that everybody can play, anybody can play. That yeah, we're doing a 5e homebrew campaign, and we've got a few one shots of other stuff on there, and yeah, we're just trying to spread the love of RPGs.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that. Now, We always say the same thing at the end of the show because it's always going to be true right now. We remind you guys every single time, be safe. If you do not have to go out, stay home. It is the only way to make sure you stay safe during this time. If you have to go out, because people have to work, we understand that, wear a mask. It's the only way to protect yourself and everyone around you. But if you can stay home, please stay home. We want you to come back week after week. We want you to join us and enjoy the content we're trying to provide you to keep you entertained and hopefully keep you at home so you can be safe. But remember, no matter what, we will always save you a seat at our table. And right now, we're going to take those seats and we're going to go raid someone else's table because someone was just in our chat at the beginning of the show who is actually live right now, and that is Spooky Sprinkles. She is one of the affiliated streams over with the Grouch Couch on the Hero Network. So we're going to go raid her show and watch her create some badass art because Spooky can draw. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again. We love you very much. Please be careful, and we will see you all next time. Stalling.
Stall.
Love you. We're gone.